Hey, this is Aaron, and I still have the temerity to call myself the metal theologian, even though I haven't shown any metal in a while. I actually started this video for the new house, and it sounded just not right. And I realized because I didn't have any fucking music on, since I can actually hear the goddamn music here in contrast with the other place. I just can't get into the groove unless I've got a little groove, you know what I'm saying? So I got some Melvin Jackson going on. Anyway, I'm going to show some new arrivals today because I can't really put them away till I show them off. I've kind of been holding off because I was going to do a video with Spencer, but he's actually been sick, so he's kind of fucking sick too. I think I'm going to have to take him to the doctor tomorrow or something, but he'll be okay. I'm sure it's not like he's in a fucking accident or anything, but since some of you have been asking about him, you know, I figured I'd throw that out there. So anyway, today we are drinking, fuck the goddamn label. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. This is the Virgil's root beer, if you haven't had this before, but this is in the big bottle. You see that fucking weird clasp and shit? This is the special Bavarian nutmeg version, the special edition Bavarian nutmeg one. And I've actually had this before. This is the shit right here. Part of why I'm busting this out is because it's delicious and I haven't done it before, but also, someone in the comment for a video actually asked me what some of my favorite sodas were, and even though Virgil's is not exactly the most obscure name in soda, I mean you can find this you can find the regular shit at the Trader Joe's or even at the grocery store, you know. But this is the shit. This actually gets a glass, although I did forget to chill this fucker. But you never see me use glasses for this shit. I just swill it right out of the bottle. But this fucker, this is really something special. So here we go. It's funny people think I'm actually drinking beer this time. Man, it's so good. It's just fucking perfect, man. It has the perfect mouthfeel, the right body. You can taste the nutmeg in there, that hint, especially sort of in the finish. Yeah, I've shown some really good root beers, but I've shown some root beers that are a hell of a lot harder to find than this one, but I'll tell you, I haven't shown one that's better. You kind of get what you pay for it too, I suppose, to a certain degree, because this shit costs $4 or $5 for one of these bottles, depending on where you get it. But it's really a first-rate root beer. Fuck, I'm spilling it. God damn it. Fuck. All right. Shit. Oh well, whatever. If I get fuck it. I won't even go there. All right. So anyway, let's go to the fucking records here. So it's an already tip of my hat to Grown Man record. And I'd have to say that I was kind of happy to get my hands on a copy of this finally for a price that I was willing to pay. This is Les McCann live at Montreux. I'd actually never heard this record before. But this record had the distinction of being Mikey Banana's all-time favorite record, or so he said on a couple shows. So it definitely, I mean, that's a fucking, you can't argue with that band pick, right? And you know, it's not that hard to find really, but it just seems like it's been overpriced. This is a beautiful copy that I managed to get for a pretty good price, and I played it, and I mean, honestly, I never really need to hear what's going on again. It's a great song. I've really got no beef with it. And if you think I'm going to come on here and talk shit about Marvin Gaye, sorry, man, wrong channel. I'll talk shit about Clapton all day long, but not Marvin Gaye. First of all, because Marvin Gaye is awesome, in contrast to Clapton, who fucking sucks. But I was surprised actually how much he sings on this. I was expecting to be, if not instrumental, then at least mostly instrumental. But he sings on a lot more of these songs than not, which is a little different from the other stuff of his that I've heard. But his voice is fucking awesome, first of all. It's all gruff, and he kind of almost talks through it more than actually sort of singing. And it's all about sort of the presentation rather than, the tune itself. And I value that as a singer. I really do. I mean, I like a balls out, Bruce Dickinson style singer, right? But I really appreciate someone who isn't such a great singer who still manages to do something with it, and who isn't Bob Dylan, because I'm fucking tired of him too. Although, what can I say? He did kind of pioneer that in a way, I suppose. Fuck, I'm afraid I'm going to knock my camera over if I do that. Anyway, it's a really cool record. I don't know if I can give my sort of unequivocal recommendation. I really enjoy it though. It belongs in my collection for sure. And if you're interested in sort of electric jazz funk with a lot of vocals, that's funny because I normally don't. Usually if I hear there's a lot of vocals in a jazz funk record, I'll stay away from it. But that one just hit the fucking spot. So the next two are actually old friends, and I kind of feel like it's my duty to show these. To sort of demonstrate that even though I've been collecting for a long time and kept my records when a lot of people got rid of theirs, I still let go of some shit that I shouldn't have. And yeah, and so I have to go out and rebuy it. And so these two, fortunately, kind of fell into my lap. And this is the first one. How about me showing this to the fucking new arrivals? Yes, I had this back in the 80s. And I had it through a good chunk of the 90s, but I let it go because I was like, it's not as good as the studio albums and blah, blah. And fucking I regretted it. So it's been a hole in my collection for about 10 years. And I finally came across one for a price I was willing to pay. And in really nice shape too. It was one of those gold stamp promos, kind of ironically, because I was talking to them a while back. Someone like cut this piece out here too. It's kind of weird. It's like instead of a cutout notch or something, they did that maybe. I don't know. But I mean, obviously, I'm not even gonna bother. What am I gonna say about this record, right? Actually, I'll tell you why I didn't have it, because I didn't think the vocal performance was as good as on the studio records. And in fact, I'll tell you, Bruce Dickinson live is never quite up to the standards that I wish he were on the studio records, which maybe isn't quite fair. But I figure if you set the expectation on the studio albums, I hope that the delivery live is going to be as solid. So that's why I didn't have this. And I listened to this again, or about half of it again earlier today. I've got to say, it's still a fucking tour de force, man. I mean, yeah, it'd be great if, like, the high note at the end of Aces High were as distinct as it is on the fucking album. But, what can I say? Night after night, you can't do that. I suppose it speaks to not doctoring your shit. And I believe in that, too. So, it's back in the collection. It's back in a loving home in the loving arms of a loving owner. And that's where it belongs. This actually doesn't have the booklet in it, which is a little bit of a bummer. But, I was thinking about that when I was at the store, and I was like, dude, how often would I open up that fucking booklet anyway? How about never? And what am I going to do, like, read the fucking description of all their equipment? When I was, like, 15, I'd do shit like that. But, man, I can't be bothered these days. Here's the other one. Another one. Fucking obvious record, man. And yes, I had this once upon a time, but now I have it again. What actually kind of rules about this one on top, other than just the record itself? Yes, if I had found a perfect copy of this for the same price, I would have grabbed the perfect one, okay? But since this one wasn't perfect, and it kind of fell almost literally into my lap, not quite, but actually what happened is I went to my local shop, and the dude who I knew, I knew everyone who works there, of course, but the guy who's like the manager, who's kind of my friend, was like, oh, dude, we got some shit here, come look at the shit behind the counter. So it hadn't just come in, hadn't been priced yet. He was basically handing it to me. He's saying, here, I'll give you a good price on it. So I was like, fuck, what am I going to do, say no? So, anyway, the story with this one is, you see that, like, wear on the spine there? Well, like I said, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that this is what I would have chosen over a perfect one. But since it's like that anyway, my original copy that I had was actually worn in exactly the same way. Like, on one side, but not on the other. Because, see, the bottom is in pretty good shape, but the top part there is kind of worn, right? And it kind of annoyed me on my old copy, which is probably part of why I let it go, stupidly. But it's really kind of perfect that when it's time to be reunited with this old friend, that it's like my old friend actually puts on his same old suit and tie or whatever when he comes out to see me, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that metaphor even really makes sense, but I'm really happy to have that fucker again, because, I mean, again, what am I going to sit here and tell you that No Sleep Till Hammersmith is a great record? I mean, you don't need to hear that from me. If you need to hear that from me, you're probably not watching this fucking channel anyway, so. Alright, so let's go on to some other ones. I'm going to start off with kind of a mediocre one. Actually, I guess we already started off, didn't we? I've always kind of been curious about this band, because when I was working at the record store in Cleveland, back in the early 90s, we used to get like $20 a pop for these records. And I've never seen them priced that high outside of Cleveland, quite honestly. But I came across this one, And I actually bought this out of a rock section at the flea market here in town. But prior to that, the last place I'd seen it had been in a jazz section. I was kind of surprised. I was like, why would someone put this in the jazz section? Of course, my brain starts going, it doesn't go, oh, maybe they just fucking misfiled it. If it were the Rush record, that's what I would have thought. But with Brian Auger, I'm like, shit, maybe someone knows something I don't. Maybe there's like sort of a jazzy component to that isn't really what I was expecting as far as the record goes. So maybe when I heard that one with the blue cover and didn't really like it, like I wasn't really, my expectations were in the right place. So I grabbed it for $4 and I listened to it a little earlier, and it's kind of wussy for my taste, quite honestly. I like the organ sound. I'm really kind of a sucker for that 70s organ sound. And I don't know, I mean, I really don't have anything bad to say about this, except it's just kind of wussy, you know? It's well, no, there's a guitar on it too. I thought it was just the organ, the bass, the drums. It's those plus a guitar and congas, okay? It's fine. It was kind of enjoyable. There's some little reference to the teachings of Don Juan on here, which is kind of wussy too. Oh, that's just the quote on the back. Yeah, yeah, right. But, I don't know. I guess the jury's really still out on this. I mean, there are wussy records that I like too. I mean, that Les McCann record I was talking about before isn't exactly the heaviest thing. But, you know, that's the way it goes. So we're going to go from wussy to cheesy. This record is one that I think I like. I haven't quite played it enough to tell you for sure, but I think I like this record a lot. But it's pretty fucking cheesy. It has some real cheeseball shit going on. The fucking song Soul Mikasa, even though it's a classic, is really kind of a cornball tune. I actually looked into this one. When I was browsing through some shit at the flea market, there was someone showing the dude a stack of stuff. And apparently he didn't like it, so he was walking out, and I saw the back of this from a distance. And I asked him, if he minded if I took a look at what he had, and if he was parting with them. And so I cherry-picked this one. Everything else he had was crap, to say the truth. And that was why the guy who actually ran the shop didn't take it. It's not like he was stupid, but the guy had 10 records, and 2 of them were good, and 8 were shit, and he didn't want to take them all, so there's something like that. I don't want to speak for somebody else. But anyway, the point is, I ended up with this record in sort of like a private purchase, so very fair price. And and I kind of dig it. What can I say? I'll get to some really unequivocally good ones pretty soon. I feel like I'm kind of equivocating and everything. This one I just saw in someone else's video. I have not played it yet. But this record is the one that got me to the shop, and thereby got me in the right place at the right time to get those 2 live albums that I showed before, the Iron Maiden one and the Motorhead one. So this record kind of, I was going to say has a special place in my heart, but that's really kind of not true, because I noticed after I bought it that it has 2 singers on it, Faye Kelly and Leola Sharp. Actually, no, it doesn't. It's 4 singers. And I really don't like singing on my jazz records. Not to be a dick. I mean, of course I hate the Manhattan Transfer and shit like that, and Rare Silk and that really corny shit. But I don't like Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross. I don't like fucking Ella Fitzgerald, honestly. I just don't dig that sound. I like my jazz instrumentals. So when I got this home and I saw not 1, not 2, but 4 singers on it, I was a little bit taken aback, and I kind of haven't had the balls to play it yet. So one of these days I'll play this, and maybe I'll remember to let you know what I think. Probably not, but in the meantime, it's sitting here, and it did do me a favor. So what can I say? Now this one came in the mail a couple days ago, and I'm fucking happy about this one, because this is one I've been keeping an eye out for a while, and this is not an easy one to find. That's The Good, the Bad, and the Upsetters. I think I might have shown the Jamaican one. There's a reissue of the Jamaican one not long ago, which I didn't even know it existed. Apparently the deal was when this one came out, as according to the liner notes, when this one came out, Lee Perry got pissed because he hadn't been as involved in the production or release of this one as he had wanted to be. So he got rip shit and fucking put out his own record in Jamaica. And supposedly he actually used these covers and put a sticker over the back that had with the song titles for his record. Now the fucking Jamaican edition is a crazy record, and I fucking love it from start to finish. But this is a really cool record in its own right. on the collectible Trojan Records label. And I actually got this from a cat in Britain who got it to me in less than a week. To tell you the truth, kind of talked down the condition. This is in totally acceptable shape for my collection. And given that there are people out there asking several times what this cat asked for, it's fucking A1 seller as far as I'm concerned. Awesome record, by the way. And I haven't been in a big reggae kick, but I can always listen to the Upsetters, and that record's no exception. Plus, this cover is so fucking cool. I mean, Jesus Christ, let me show this again. How good is that? Dude, why would you not buy that record? You know something? I know this is mostly a metal channel, but no matter how into metal you are, if that record cover doesn't say "Buy Me" to you, then you might be in the wrong place, too, because the fact is, that's just like quality right there. Like, there's so much fucking quality coming out of this record cover. It's kind of like slapping me in the face right now. Like, Jesus, fuck. Oh, God. It's fucking too much quality. Shit, man. That's how good this fucking thing is. And the back rules, too. I mean, what picture's better, the back or the front? How can we even answer that fucking question? Jesus. Alright. So I've kind of been out on a little bit different note to start checking out a little bit of Fusion again. I found that I've always kind of hated Fusion. I like the Miles Davis records, and I like some of Herbie. Actually, I like most of Herbie Hancock's records at this point, because even if I listen to one and I think it sucks, I come back to it a while later. I really like it. So there are a couple I've kind of been hearing about, and so, well, shit, man, I don't know how to introduce this. I'll just bust this out. I heard good things about this record from someone whose opinion I value. Actually, this is a fixture on Grown Man Record Night, too, although Mikey has a much higher tolerance for cheese than I do, to be really blunt about it. But when it comes to like 70s shit like this, like, I'm puking and his stomach is just like fucking feeling fine, you know what I mean? So I don't quite have the intestinal fortitude that cat does, but I really enjoyed this record. It's not great, but it's very good. And you know, a part of it is it's not a very good jazz record, but as a rock record, it's pretty cool. You know, I listen to something like this and I go, you know something, this is probably at least as good as half that fucking like German like jazz rock shit that I listen to. So what the fuck? Why the hell can't I enjoy a little bit of Billy Cobham too? And the record's a lot cheaper, so it's the first one I've ever owned. Never owned Spectrum or shit, those are the ones that seem like they're kind of classic. I also grabbed this one actually. I got this one really cheap. This one I haven't decided if I like yet, because I kind of hate his playing. And I kind of hate the trappings, but I kind of like the rockiness of this record, you know? So, I don't know. I'm not recommending this one. If you love it, tell me why. And if you say you love it because the fucking tip of the hat to L. Ron Hubbard on the back, I'm not going to take the rest of what you're saying seriously. But, you know, pick a song or something like that. Because like I said, I think I like it. But I really hate that. You know what I really fucking hate? Is that like pluck that bow, bow, like that fucking I'm spacing the word, but it's not the basically the popping the strings on the bass and shit. I've never liked that for some reason. And when I first like started really getting into funk, I was surprised by how little that's used, because that's such a cliche, you know. But what can I say? That's what happens when you grow up where I grew up, I suppose. Anyway, got a copy of this. It's kind of ring worn. It's not in the greatest shape, but it does have the original inner and the vanity labels. And it's another old friend I'm being reunited with, so probably should have it. This is a cool ass record. This Thelonious Monk one. I haven't really played this enough to really give it its full due. Wish I'd made that music a little louder. I can barely fucking hear it, man. Shit, this is gonna turn into a really fucking epic long video. Yeah, this has some fucking motherfuckers on it. There has Sonny Rollins on it, Oscar Pettiford, Max Roach, Ernie Henry on alto sax. I don't know him, honestly. Just a really cool record, man. And fucking Thelonious Monk is actually one of my favorite pianists. That's something you might not have known about the metal theologian, is that he fucking loves Thelonious Monk. Just listen to the way the guy plays, like just you can sort of hear him like do it. It's like if Frankenstein learned to play the piano, like Frankenstein's monster, he'd sound like Thelonious Monk or something like that. It's just fucking incredibly good. I can listen to fucker play chopsticks. Shit, how long is this? You know, I think I might just hang it up and show the other half later. Yeah, fuck, I'll just whip through these. I'll just move a little faster. Here's another one. I'm not a Rush fan, but I got this cheap, same day as I got the other ones, and I do kind of like this early stuff. Fucking 2112 and all that shit is just too pretentious for me. Fucking Neil Peart read a book by Ayn Rand, and I'm supposed to think he's a fucking genius. Well, I don't. I don't really care about their fucking stories. I think it's hokey horse shit, and in a lot of ways kind of embodies like why people crack wise about prog rock. Them and Yes are kind of the two bands. But with age, I've come to realize that, a little bit grudgingly, that Yes kind of had their moments. And with age, I've also come to realize that I really do like the first 3 Rush records. And this is the one I was missing. So, not in super great shape, but look at that right there. But for as often as I'm going to be playing it, it's a perfectly acceptable copy for me, and I'm not going to spend fucking $15 or whatever other people are willing to play. Here's another cheesy one. This is another grown man record I'd influenced one, although I've never seen this on the show. This is a 70s Lionel Hampton record. Actually, as much as anything, I heard a couple cuts off Into a Black Thing by Lionel Hampton from the 70s. Never been much of a fan, frankly, because he was just kind of too, I don't know, a little too old-fashioned for me, really, Lionel Hampton. I tend to like, you know, sort of very distinctly post-big band era jazz stuff. I do like some of the early stuff, and I even like some of the big band stuff. But it's not what really moves me, so when I see Lionel Hampton in the 70s, I figure it's an old fuck over the hill trying to make a few bucks before he dies, basically, right? But some of these records are really damn cool, and this one, what I heard off that other one's awesome. Hopefully I'll have a copy to show soon. But this one I grabbed because it's about the same time, and it's on the Brunswick label. Actually, you know something? I think this is a white label promo. Yeah, look at that. See, it's because you come here to see the good shit. Look at that. Fucking... Oh, fuck. You can't see it, man. There we go. Fuck. Come on. Fuck. God damn it, man. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm trying not to drop shit here. God damn it. Okay. There we go. You can kind of see that. It's a white label promo on the Brunswick label. That's all. Just fucking take my word for it if it didn't focus. It is. Because believe me, I wouldn't have spent any money on the fucking thing. But, you know, it's cheesy as fuck, this record. But it's just kind of charming and kind of fun to listen to. And, you know, with the vibes, like the percussive aspect of when he's hitting the fucking things, like compared to just sort of like the kind of sweet like background and shit, I just kind of dig. Plus that picture rules, man. Fucking, you can't argue with that. So another one I'm not really recommending, but I like it. This one, on the other hand, I will recommend. Speaking of Marvin Gaye, I don't actually have a ton of Marvin Gaye records anymore. I used to, but I don't anymore. But the ones I've rebought have been some of these later ones. I mean later, early 70s as opposed to the 60s ones. I don't give a shit about Sexual Healing. I'm sure you're sitting there going, oh my god, he doesn't give a shit about Sexual Healing? Yeah, of course I don't like that shit. It's too fucking corny for my ass. That is for, of course, Epic. That's not, actually it's corny as fuck. But that still rules. Look at that. Fucking it folds out. And there he is. Bam. Peanut butter and jam. Look at that shit, man. It's fucking, there we go. That's the shit right there. Anyway, this is a really cool record, man. I just fucking love this record. It's definitely a soundtrack. Fuck, which way does it go? Well, I'll figure it out later, I guess. No, I won't. I'll figure it out now. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, you know, kind of has that soundtrack vibe, but it's just really cool, you know. It's not quite as songy as, like, Superfly, you know. I kind of wish it were, but that's because Superfly is one of my favorite records ever, so that's not really fair anyway. But this is an awesome record, a lot of fun to listen to. 2 thumbs up. And speaking of fun records to listen to, here's a really cool, like, funky jazz one. Now again, quality right there. I mean, what's not to like about this fucking thing? It's actually a Shuggy Otis on it, in case you can't see that. And you know, I'm not really part of the whole sort of Shuggy cult. But I dig shit that he's on. I mean, when I've heard off his records, I thought it was kind of boring, honestly. But I don't know. Maybe that'll change someday. I'll probably come back and go one of these days and go, oh my god, Shuggy Otis is fucking fantastic. Anyway, this is cool. The titles include Chicken Gumbo, Chili Mac, Cream Green, Neck Bones, Kool-Aid. That's side one. Yeah, I mean, yeah, man, this is the shit, man. This is really fucking good. Now, there's a cheap reissue, too. This one is from 76, and this surprised me a little bit. I'd never heard of this before, but it's a little bit late. I would expect this to be off into the disco thing, especially with that cover, but it's not. This record is funky as fuck, and it's kind of experimental in its funkiness. Like, it's not like an experimental record, okay? But it takes an experimental approach to funk in a way that I really dig a lot. And apparently it was originally on the Black Fire label. Like I said, I'd never heard of this band before. Saw it on a list, was curious, gave it a quick sample, and went, holy fuck, is that good? So I snapped up the record, and I'm glad I did. This is another heavy funk record. I'm pretty fussy about my funk records anymore, right? I only get them if they're heavy, okay? So this is not, you know, there's nothing against Parliament, man, but it's just too disco-y for my taste. This is not the Clones of Dr. Funkenstein. I fucking have that record memorized, too. If you think I'm just talking out of my ass, I played the shit out of that record back in the day. But I can't take it anymore. This record is not the Clones of Dr. Funkenstein. It is fucking heavy. And look at those fucking guys, man. Just fucking anything with a cover like that, you should just fucking buy. I do. And actually, there are like 3 Wilson Pickett song credits on here, too. And a Bob Welch one. So I would look at this and go, yeah, it's fucking mostly covers and blah. No, it's fucking awesome, man. It's fucking fantastic. And it's so good that I snapped up both of them. Because here's the other one. It's actually in a different spot. Kind of got these in 2 different orders, but they made 2 records, and I'm all over both of them. Oh, that first one's definitely heavier. If it's choice, this is a nice record. This is a very good funk record, but that first one's fucking unbelievable. So get the first one first. Yeah, I'm just going to whip right past this one. This is another jazz one I checked out. I really like some of Joachim Kuhn's early stuff. Like that one on the Big Actuel label was great. And then there was another one on Impulse he did with his brother. This one was really kind of wussy, man. I kind of wanted to like it, but it's 76. I mean, I don't know, man. I probably shouldn't. I don't know. I was going to say I probably should have known because he looks like such a wuss on the back, but he always looked like such a wuss that you can't really judge it based on that. But this record isn't very good, so don't let the cover fool you. It kind of sucks. It doesn't suck. It's not bad. I might even play it again before I put it away, but, you know. First Tower of Power record. It's another one I just sort of lucked into because I was keeping an eye out for it. The cover is not as good as the cover of Bump City, but the record is. It's a fucking really good record. Just a solid funk, and it's on the heavy side. Definitely, you know, a lot of brass, but I'm not bitching about that because brass is fucking heavy. And that's why brass was perfected in the fucking 19th century, and that's why they used it in those big operas. And that's why, like, Wagner was so into brass, because that was fucking the heaviest shit that they had then. So, yeah, all about the brass, and this is a great fucking record that is all about the grooves. And yeah, East Bay Grease. And then finally, this is actually another really kind of more of a jazz funk one. Maybe not the best one to end on, except for the fact that once again the cover fucking rules. Look at that. Okay, well, if you think that cover's cool, then you'll probably like this record too. Walter Bishop is actually another kind of older jazz guy, and this record's like 77. I actually don't know that much about him. I don't know how old he was, but I know he'd been around on records in the 60s and things like that. But this is just a fucking badass record, man. It's fucking funky and jazzy and fucking awesome. So, yeah, there we go. There's a whole lot. You probably got my fill of, I think I got my quota of swearing in. I was starting off to a little bit of a slow start, but the more I got excited about the fucking covers, the more I sort of got carried away with it. So, I'm going to finish my root beer. And I don't know, there's a new season of Trailer Park Boys to watch, so I'm actually probably going to do that. But there'll be more records to come, and actually relatively soon I want to do a video. There are a couple that I held back, a couple of the new arrivals, the heaviest of the funk ones. because I'm thinking about doing a video on funk records for hard rockers. So like if you're a hard rocker and you're interested in funk, and you've been hearing Earth, Wind and Fire, Spirit, and the Clones of Dr. Funkenstein, and some of these other records that are really kind of rightly heralded, but you just weren't doing it for you don't know why. What I'll do is pull out like a set of fucking funk records that should appeal to your hard rocker and your inner hard rocker, and maybe get you started down the path, because I fucking love it all now. Anyway, well, not all of it, but you know what I mean. Anyway, thanks for watching, and this is probably going to be like my third longest video ever or something, but we'll see.